Ever had one of those nights where you just can't seem to fall asleep? Maybe you're tossing and turning, watching the hours tick by on the clock, or your mind is racing with a million thoughts. The next day, you drag yourself out of bed, feeling like a zombie, and your brain feels foggy and sluggish. Sound familiar? We've all been there, whether it's from staying up too late watching Netflix, working on a big project, or just struggling to turn off our brains. And while one bad night of sleep won't ruin your life, if this becomes a regular thing, it can seriously mess with your brain. So, what happens to your brain when you don't get enough sleep? Let's dive in and explore the fun, and sometimes scary, truth about sleep deprivation. Sleep is your brain's superpower recharge. First things first, sleep isn't just for resting your body. It's actually when your brain does a lot of its most important work. Think of sleep as your brain's power nap, where it gets to hit the reset button, reorganize everything, and clean up the mess it made throughout the day. While you sleep, your brain is busy consolidating memories, processing emotions, and cleaning out toxins that built up while you were awake. In fact, during deep sleep, your brain acts like a vacuum cleaner, sucking up waste and making sure everything's running smoothly. When you don't get enough sleep, this cleaning process doesn't happen as well, and that can lead to all sorts of problems. So, if you're skipping sleep, you're not just making yourself tired. You're also messing with your brain's ability to function properly. Forgetting things? Sleep deprivation might be to blame. Have you ever found yourself forgetting something super important, like a deadline, a name, or where you put your keys, just because you didn't get enough sleep the night before? That's no coincidence. When you don't sleep, your brain has a hard time remembering things. Think of sleep as your brain's file cabinet. When you sleep, your brain organizes and files away all the new information you learned that day. But if you don't sleep enough, your brain can't do that filing properly, which means you'll forget things more easily. It's like trying to put your documents into a messy, overstuffed file cabinet. You might remember a few, but most of them get lost in the shuffle. That's why pulling all-nighters before a test or trying to cram in information late at night usually doesn't work out. Your brain just doesn't have the time to properly store everything. Can't focus. Sleep deprivation makes your brain go on vacation. Another big issue when you don't sleep is that your ability to focus and pay attention takes a hit. Imagine trying to work on a big task, but your mind keeps wandering. Maybe you keep getting distracted by your phone, or you suddenly realize you've been staring at the same page for 10 minutes without absorbing anything. That's because when you're sleep-deprived, your brain can't filter out distractions properly. The part of your brain that helps you focus and make decisions, called the prefrontal cortex, becomes less efficient. As a result, you might find it harder to concentrate, follow through with tasks, or make quick decisions. You know that feeling when you're trying to do something important, but you just can't get in the zone? That's your tired brain at work. Mood swings. Why lack of sleep makes you more emotional. It's not just your brain power that takes a hit when you don't sleep. It can mess with your emotions too. Have you ever found yourself feeling unusually irritable or stressed after a bad night's sleep? Or maybe something that normally wouldn't bother you suddenly sets you off. That's because your brain is having a hard time regulating your emotions without sleep. When you're sleep-deprived, the emotional center of your brain, the amygdala, becomes more sensitive. This means you're more likely to overreact to stress or feel anxious, even about small things. Meanwhile, the part of your brain that helps you control your reactions, the prefrontal cortex, isn't functioning as well, making it harder to calm yourself down. So, if you feel grumpy, anxious, or even depressed when you're sleep-deprived, it's your tired brain at work again. Sleep and creativity. Why ideas go on strike without enough rest. Think sleep deprivation doesn't affect your creativity? Think again. Sleep is when your brain does some of its most creative work. During REM sleep, the phase when you dream, your brain connects all sorts of random ideas and memories to come up with new thoughts and solutions. In fact, many great thinkers have reported coming up with their best ideas after a good night's sleep. Without enough sleep, your creativity goes down the drain. You might find yourself stuck in a creative rut, unable to come up with fresh ideas or problem solve effectively. It's like trying to build something without the right tools. Your brain just doesn't have the resources it needs to think outside the box. So, if you're struggling with a creative block, try taking a break and getting some sleep. You might wake up with the breakthrough you've been searching for. 6. Sleep deprivation can make you forget to protect your brain. Here's something most people don't know. Sleep is also the time when your brain gets rid of harmful waste products that build up during the day. Think of it like taking out the trash. If you don't get enough sleep, your brain can't properly clean up the harmful toxins that accumulate. One of the biggest toxins that build up in the brain is called beta amyloid, a protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. During deep sleep, your brain activates its cleaning system, called the glymphatic system, which sweeps away these harmful waste products. But when you're sleep deprived, the glymphatic system doesn't work as well, meaning more toxins are left behind. Over time, this can lead to serious brain problems, including memory loss and cognitive decline. So, by skimping on sleep, you're essentially leaving your brain's garbage to pile up. Definitely not something you want to do. 7. The long-term effects of chronic sleep deprivation. Now, we've been talking a lot about how lack of sleep affects your brain in the short term. But what happens if you don't get enough sleep over a long period of time? Well, chronic sleep deprivation can lead to more serious issues, including long-term memory problems, difficulty concentrating, and even an increased risk of mental health conditions like depression and anxiety. In fact, studies have shown that consistently getting poor sleep can actually shrink the part of your brain responsible for learning and memory, called the hippocampus. This makes it harder to form new memories and learn new things. So, if you're always running on empty, you're putting your brain at risk for more serious problems down the road. 8. The good news: you can fix it. Okay, so now you know how lack of sleep can mess with your brain. But don't worry, there's good news. The effects of sleep deprivation are reversible. If you've been burning the candle at both ends, all you need to do is start prioritizing sleep. Your brain needs it, and you'll feel the difference. Here are a few tips to get better sleep. Stick to a schedule. Try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Yes, even on weekends. Create a relaxing bedtime routine. Wind down with activities like reading, meditation, or a warm bath before bed. Limit screen time. The blue light from phones and computers messes with your sleep hormones. Try to unplug at least 30 minutes before bedtime. Make your bedroom a sleep sanctuary. Keep it cool, quiet, and dark to help your brain relax. With some consistent sleep habits, you can get your brain back to its sharp, creative, and focused self. Conclusion: sweet dreams for a healthy brain. At the end of the day, sleep isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity for a healthy brain. From memory and focus to mood and creativity, your brain needs sleep to function at its best. So, if you're feeling foggy or forgetful, it might be time to hit the hay a little earlier. Remember, a well-rested brain is a happy brain. So, the next time you're tempted to stay up late, think about all the amazing things your brain could do if you just gave it a good night's sleep. Sweet dreams.